You're back? I saw you leave and yet you return? The audacity. I like it. Go on, tell me what you wish for. Fine, only because I have an ounce of respect for your confidence. Get nice and cozy. This one is my personal favorite. Once upon a time there were 3 billy goats who were to go up to the hillside to make themselves fat, and the name of all 3 was Gruff. On the way up was a bridge over a cascading stream they had to cross, and under the bridge lived a great ugly troll, with eyes as big as saucers, and a nose as long as a poker. So first of all came the youngest billy goat Gruff to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Roared the troll. Oh, it is only I, the tiniest billy goat Gruff, and I'm going up to the hillside to make myself fat, said the billy goat with such a small voice. Now I'm coming to gobble you up, said the troll. Oh no, pray don't take me, I'm too little, that I am, said the billy goat. Wait a bit till the second billy goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger. Well, be off with you, said the troll. A little while after came the second billy goat Gruff to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, went the bridge. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Roared the troll. Oh, it's the second billy goat Gruff, and I'm going up to the hillside to make myself fat, said the billy goat, who hadn't such a small voice. Now I'm coming to gobble you up, said the troll. Oh no, don't take me. Wait a little till the big billy goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger. Very well, be off with you, said the troll. But just then up came the big billy goat Gruff. Trip, trap, went the bridge, for the billy goat was so heavy that the bridge creaked and groaned under him. Who's that tramping over my bridge? Roared the troll. It's I, the big billy goat Gruff, said the billy goat, who had an ugly hoarse voice of his own. Now I'm coming to gobble you up, roared the troll. Well, come along. I've got 2 spears, and I'll poke your eyeballs out at your ears. I've got besides 2 curling stones, and I'll crush you to bits, body, and bones. That was what the big billy goat said, and then he flew at the troll and poked his eyes out with his horns and crushed him to bits, body, and bones, and tossed him out into the cascade. And after that, he went up to the hillside. There the billy goats got so fat, they were scarcely able to walk home again. And if the fat hasn't fallen off them, why, they're still fat. And so, snip, snap, snout, this tale's told out. Good night. I hope you sleep well. Holy Christ, who the hell are you? How did you get into my lab?
That doesn't even matter.
Get out now! You need to leave!
I'm not going to hurt you.
Get out!
Stop
Go!
interrupting
Leave!
me. I heard we were doing bedtime stories, so I broke out of the gulag.
Gulag? Like the prison?
Yes, like the prison.
Well, what story could you possibly tell?
Little Red Riding Hood, of course. Once upon a time, there lived in a certain village a little country girl, the prettiest creature who was ever seen. Her mother was excessively fond of her, and her grandmother doted on her still more. This good woman had a little Red Riding Hood made for her. It suited the girl so extremely well that everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother, having made some cakes, said to her, "Go, my dear, and see how your grandmother is doing, for I hear she has been very ill. Take her a cake and this little pot of butter." Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go to her grandmother, who lived in another village. Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go to her grandmother, who lived in another village. As she was going through the wood, she met with a wolf, who had a very great mind to eat her up, but he dared not, because of some woodcutters working nearby in the forest. He asked her where she was going. The poor child, who did not know that it was dangerous to stay and talk to a wolf, said to him, "I am going to see my grandmother and carry her a cake and a little pot of butter from my mother." "Does she live far off?" said the wolf. "Oh, I say," answered Little Red Riding Hood. "It is beyond that mill you see there, at the first house in the village." "Well," said the wolf, "and I'll go and see her too. I'll go this way and go you that, and we shall see who will be there first." The wolf ran as fast as he could, taking the shortest path, and the little girl took a roundabout way, entertaining herself by gathering nuts, running after butterflies, and gathering bouquets of little flowers. It was not long before the wolf arrived at the old woman's house. He knocked at the door, tap, tap. "Who's there?" "Your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf, counterfeiting her voice, "who has brought you a cake and a little pot of butter sent you by mother." The good grandmother, who was in bed, because she was somewhat ill, cried out, "Pull the bobbin, and the latch will go up." The wolf pulled the bobbin, and the door opened, and then he immediately fell upon the good woman and ate her up in a moment, for it had been more than 3 days since he had eaten. He then shut the door and got into the grandmother's bed, expecting Little Red Riding Hood, who came some time afterwards and knocked at the door. Tap, tap. "Who's there?" Little Red Riding Hood, hearing the big voice of the wolf, was at first afraid, but believing her grandmother had a cold and was hoarse, answered, "It is your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood, who has brought you a cake and a little pot of butter mother sends you." The wolf cried out to her, softening his voice as much as he could, "Pull the bobbin, and the latch will go up." Little Red Riding Hood pulled the bobbin, and the door opened. The wolf, seeing her come in, said to her, hiding himself under the bedclothes, "Put the cake and the little pot of butter upon the stool, and come get into bed with me." Little Red Riding Hood took off her clothes and got into bed. He was greatly amazed to see how her grandmother looked in her nightclothes, and said to her, "Grandmother, what big arms you have! All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big legs you have! All the better to run with, my child." "Grandmother, what big eyes you have! All the better to see with, my child." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have got!" And saying these words, this wicked wolf fell upon Little Red Riding Hood and ate her all up. The wolf, who had eaten the little girl, lay asleep in her bed. "See, that wasn't so bad, was it?"
Get out.
All right, all right.
Well, that was unexpected. I will notify the authorities immediately. You should worry about sleep, not that madman. Good night.